Want to go through some interesting posts I spotted this morning on the David Pakman Show subreddit? You can join more than 32,000 of our viewers and listeners on the subreddit at davidpakman.com/reddit. A couple of different things. One is, I don't know how many of you saw this video of Rudy Giuliani shaving his face with an electric razor, battery powered, I guess, technically, at an airport restaurant. I did see the video. I didn't really have much to say about it, but it's gotten a bunch of attention on the subreddit. There's something very sad about it, and we've talked a lot now about Rudy Giuliani's sort of fall from grace, and it's not, I've said I don't really feel bad in the sense that he really brought this on himself, a guy who was widely praised and beloved even by some Democrats, rightly or wrongly. After 9/11, he was mayor of New York City at that point in time, and just squandered all the goodwill. Ended up not only becoming a big vocal supporter of Donald Trump's, but also going out of his way. Like, you can casually support Trump, but you don't have to go around spreading election lies and passing COVID. But he did that, and ultimately was suspended by the bar in Washington, D.C., I believe in New York, due to reciprocity, and ended up becoming the target of investigations, which we don't know ultimately where that will end. Having his home raided, having his workplace raided, farting multiple times in public during public hearings, and just humiliating himself in all ways. It's really stuff he's brought on himself. But as funny as the video is of Rudy shaving, sitting there at a table at an airport restaurant shaving, it did also kind of bum me out. He's close to 80 years old, and it just seems like it's all kind of falling apart for him. I'm not saying that he didn't bring it on himself. I'm just saying the video did bum me out a little bit. Curious to hear your thoughts. Another user on the David Pakman Show subreddit posted, "A Trumpist told me it doesn't take a genius to believe the election was stolen. I simply said, you are 100% right." And I'm sure that this went over your Trumpist friends or acquaintance's head. But, what I do, I've been getting more and more calls when we take live calls on the show. And even I've been getting texts from friends about, I have this anti-vax person at work, and I've been getting into arguments or whatever. My advice, take it for what you're paying for it, which is nothing, right? My advice is increasingly, to people I know personally and to people who call in, I don't know that I would engage one-on-one with these folks. I think it's better to engage with campaigns and public awareness initiatives and whatever else in order to get people understanding facts and understanding whether it's anti-vax or whatever things about the election. I don't really know that there's much to gain from these one-on-one arguments, and the amount of stress and anxiety that I see it causing people in my audience and people around me, I just don't know that it's worth it. And so this approach, just saying, you know what, you're right. It doesn't take a genius to end up believing that Donald Trump actually won the election. I would go more in that direction, because at some point you've got to do what's best for yourself. And it seems it's really bad for a lot of people to be engaging in fruitless conversations with ignorant people who have been the targets of weaponized disinformation and propaganda. That's my sense. But if you think it just makes sense to keep arguing, let me know. I'm open to that idea. Lastly, we're starting to think about and talk about the 2022 midterms. And user Highway Agitated posted, "What would count as a good midterm to you? We will probably lose the House, but a 7-seat loss would have Republicans at 219, 216. Not hard to crawl out of in 2024. A good midterm could also mean picking up Arizona, Georgia, and New Hampshire governorships. Also Senate pickups in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, North Carolina. We could also flip state legislatures in Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina." I actually think it's just too early to say what a good midterm would look like. Obviously, a good midterm would be one where Republicans don't take control of the House or Senate. I know that there are lots of people already kind of calling it a lost cause and saying, obviously, Democrats are going to lose X, Y, and Z. I just think it's too early. A few months ago, we were saying if COVID continues improving and Biden is attached to that, it could be a really good midterm. Rachel Bidikofer came on the show and said it could be okay. It also could be a disaster. In the aftermath of Afghanistan, it started seeming like, wow, Democrats are tainted and it's just going to not go well. But at the same time, voters tend to have short political memories. I just think it's too early at this point. I was going over, this is actually interesting. I had a call with our YouTube rep last week, and we were just going over for planning purposes. When does the midterm typically start in terms of media interest? It's typically way later. It's often not until April, although more recently it's been more like March, and this year is expected to maybe get going as early as February. The point is, I think we probably have at least 5 or 6 months. I think we've got to see how does COVID go through the fall and winter? Does Joe Biden get another major accomplishment? Is anybody still talking about Afghanistan in January, February? I think in mid-February, we will start to get a sense of what the midterms are going to look like. And at that point, I'll tell you what is a sort of good, better, best, and disaster scenario. Join the discussion at davidpakman.com/Reddit. One of our sponsors is CuriosityStream, the only subscription streaming service dedicated to documentaries. I know my audience is filled with people who love documentaries just like I do. If you don't yet have CuriosityStream, you are really missing out. They have all the biggest and newest documentaries from the world's best filmmakers. I can tell you firsthand, CuriosityStream has a way better selection of documentaries than Netflix or Hulu or Amazon. I'm always finding documentaries on CuriosityStream that I'm not seeing anywhere else. I can watch on all of my devices, whether it's at night, at home, on the couch, or on the go on my phone or wherever. I just finished watching Life at the Limits. Super interesting about people who live in really extreme places on Earth. I know anyone who watches my show will love CuriosityStream. And the best part is that for a limited time, when you go to curiositystream.com/Pakman, you will get 25% off a subscription, which makes it just $15 a year. The link is right underneath this video.